going on, people, and welcome back to totalozspurs. And game one down, 37 to go, and ended in a draw. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing to the channel, and hit the comments down below. Let me know how you feel about the game, and let me know if you contradict anything I said. So we started with a formation of I think it was a 4-3-3, but we kind of went into a 3-3, 3-1, I think. We started off with Vicario in goal, Royal Romero, Van de Ven got his debut, and Adoji with Basuma, Skip, and Madison in the middle, and the front three were Kulu, Sun, and Richarlison. And I'm going to start on Vicario. I don't have him at fault for any of the goals. Penalty, couldn't do much about it. And the second goal, there was not much he could do, really. I feel sorry for him, really. He was a bit shaky. I looked like that the fans and Brentford knew that he was quite shaky with the ball to his feet. Didn't look too confident. A few times he gave the ball away, or gave a weak pass that kind of put other players in jeopardy. However, he has great reflexes. He made a couple of good saves, a couple of quick movements, strong fists at time. Felt like it was an okay debut. I do feel quite worried while he's at the back when he's on the ball, but it's going to grow in confidence. Let's be fair. Brentford were counter-attacking and they didn't trouble him too much until they got their goals. I will say that penalty was disgusting. There's no way that was a penalty. And it's unfortunate that he conceded a penalty in his first game. But we'll get into that a bit later. I'll start on the centre-backs. Romero, unfortunate he got a concussion. Felt like he took his goal really, really well, timed it really well with the onside. Looked like he was up for it. Looked like the fact that he's been named the new vice captain of the club and it looks like he's really taken to Ange. He seems keenness, and for me, that's having a Romero that's keen, confident, and ready to go is only good for us. Unfortunately, he got taken off early. Hope he passed his HIA or his concussion test, and I hope to see him at United this weekend. His partner, Van de Ven, very solid debut. Didn't trouble too much. Controlled the ball really well at feet. Covered really, really well when they did counter, because Buemo and Wissa are quite quick. And did what he had to do, really. Solid debut. I think that maybe one or two things he needs to have a couple more weeks to understand the way that Ange wants him to play. But that comes with game time and training. So let's hope he continues. His debut for me was quite solid, and I'm excited to see the kind of player that we have there. Sanchez, big note to Sanchez. I felt like he had a solid game when you replaced Romero. Didn't look out of place, didn't make a mistake, made some good covering tackles. For me, Sanchez did really well, and it's good to see that he came on and knew his job, did what he had to do. He couldn't do much for their second goal, but he covered a hell of a lot of what he had to. So big up Sanchez for coming on. Obviously, he was on his way out. Not sure if he will be on his way out, but for me, he's probably the only centre back that we have at the club currently, apart from Romero and Van de Ven, that actually fit this system. In terms of the way Ange wants our centre backs to be high up the pitch and then use their pace to cover in the balls and behind. So confident. I was confident on him on the pitch. Didn't really worry about him, and I'm happy that he made a good impression in the first game. Moving on to our fullbacks, Emerson Royale and Destiny Adoji, or Adogi, as the commentators were saying. I'm going to go to Adogi first, or Adoji first. Really solid going forward. Felt like he was wanting the ball, calling for the ball a lot of the game. Didn't really overlap too much on the left-hand side. I think that was due to how wide and how defensive Brentford were. They were having like 3 on Richarlison. Then when the ball moved wide, they'd have 2 on Sonny and 2 on Kulu. So they really stifled our attack. and the overlaps. I felt like our fullback should have overlapped a bit more instead of coming inside. But the way that we set up is the fullbacks move into like the DM role. And for this game only, I felt like it wasn't the right thing to do. I felt like we should have tried to stretch the defense a bit more, get Sonny in between the fullback and the right-sided centre back, and vice versa on the other side with Kulu, and that way we could give Richarlison space to attack the ball. But Doji had a great debut for us in the Premier League. I'm really excited to see this kid. People were saying his defense was questionable. Didn't put a foot wrong for me. Last night, I think he did really, really well. And I'm excited to see. I think he's going to be our left back for a good 5 or 6 years if we can keep him. Emerson Royale, this guy just keeps turning up. I was getting frustrated during the stream because I felt like he wasn't the right player to play in that DM role, playing ball to feet, 1-2ing. I felt like Porro is a much better player technically, and especially providing attacking threats, creativity. However, you can't deny he took it. As soon as I said that, he scored a nice goal, first hit. He was ever present in the midfield, ever present. He did get caught out a few times where they would go down his side when he was pushing into the midfield. However, he did what he could to cover. He should have done better on the second goal. I feel like he could have got across and stopped the cross coming into Vissa. However, apart from that, had a solid game defensively. And going forward wasn't too exciting, but he did his job and he scored a goal, so we can't complain about that. Midfield, Basuma. This guy is a different player. I don't know what Andrew's done. It must be in the water. Must be Looney Tunes or something. Basuma's a different player. I felt like even though he was playing at the DM, he should have. I feel for me, he should have switched to Skip. He was controlling the ball out from the back, getting involved, getting frustrated because the boys weren't quick on the passes and they weren't going forward. He was getting frustrated because that's what he wants to do. He controlled that midfield, covered the back line, slotted into the back three when the fullbacks go into the DM role, and when he needed to, he pushed forward and he drove with the ball. For me, he's our Dembele that we've been missing. He's the key to our midfield transitioning, and he had a blinder. For me, he was my man of the match. I know Madison got it, but he was my man of the match. I felt like he did really, really well. Did everything right. Made 1 or 2 little errors, but that was because there was no one else helping him, and that's where I want to go on to Skippy. Non-existent the whole game. Very, very hard to play in behind when they're playing 11 behind the ball. And Skip, I feel like Lo Celso could have done better on that role, playing one touch maybe with Basuma and Madison. He's a bit more technical than Skip is, a bit more agile. However, there wasn't much Skip could do getting in behind, because I know that number 6 or number 8 role that they're playing Skip in at the moment is getting into the box a lot more when we go out wide. However, when you stifle the width and you have to play centrally, he's not the man to do it. He's not the one touch for me. I feel like Lo Celso should have played there. However, we can't knock a man. He did get subbed later on in the game, but all in all, okay game. Didn't set the world alight. Not like his compatriot Madison. It looked like he'd played with the team for years. The guy was dictating play. His quick turns, his quick feet. A couple of times slot the ball through. Richarlison got a ball through behind the line. Should have done better with his shot. Madison taking pop shots. Great cross for Romero's goal. I'm pretty sure they might have given him the assist for Royals, but I can't remember if it was a bit of a deflection off him or if he did roll it into Royal. But we have a baller, and I'm so upset that we got rid of Kane when we had this kind of player, this caliber of creativity in our team. This is like having Eriksen again, and for me, if he stays fit, he's gonna hit numbers in the 20 assists. If we can get our attack going, I think he can hit those assists, those high assists. And that's where all the positivity stops, because our front three were woeful. I will give big ups to Brentford. They really did set up to defend and counter. They did it very effectively, very, very well. They did what Conte wanted to do, but 100 times better. They had the right players in the right positions who knew their job, who knew what to do, and did it efficiently. This system is what Conte wanted to play last season. They don't have better players than we do. They just had They just all knew the system very, very well, and they stifled our front three. You can't rag on Richarlison. He had a couple of chances. Could have done better with one or two of them. But at the end of the day, he had three guys marking him. There was no way we were going through him. We weren't providing width or stretching them, so we weren't crossing the ball in. The only time he actually started doing that was when Perisic came on, and Perisic started taking Hickey on one-on-one. And then providing a bit more urgency on that left-hand side and getting a Doji in. And that's where I think Sonny really let us down. And I'm going to transition between the three because I think it all applies to all of them. Son wasn't taking his man on. Son was slowing the play the ball down. Didn't have any ideas. Wasn't attacking. Wasn't getting in behind the line because they were playing such a low block. It really stifled our attack. And for me, I feel like if the fullbacks had overlapped and Son and Kulu had cut in more, because Kulu was cutting in anyway, Royal was always in the inside of him. He needed to go on the outside. And even when the fullbacks made the outside run, Son and Kulu, I think it was only one pass that Sonny made to the Doji overlapping him. Kulu didn't make any to Royal when he was overlapping. And the question is this is how they're going to go in this system, because we need, when you see Solomon, when you see Perisic come on, even Porro, if he plays in that right wing role that I think he can play, they're quick. They're running down the line. They're trying to beat their man. Son, I know he's getting a bit older, but he hasn't lost a yard of pace. The guy can take on people, step over his run. It was very crowded, and I won't get on them too much because Brentford, as I said, defended very, very well and did what they had to do to stifle our attack. But these players are of a different caliber to the Brentford team. They should be finding gaps, especially with the likes of Maddison in there. And it's just poor from the front three. And I wouldn't be objective to see maybe Perisic and Solomon replacing Kulu and Son, because Perisic played fairly well when he came on. And he did more than what Sonny did for me. Anyway, that's my opinion. And on Perisic, I feel like we've got Perisic of 2-3 years back. The way he's moving, stepping over, attacking. The guy knows how to win. The guy's won at multiple different clubs, and been on the biggest stages that any footballer can be on, World Cup finals and all that sort of stuff. So for me, if Sonny isn't pulling his weight, or Richarlison, I personally would put Sonny in the middle and Perisic on the left. I feel like Richarlison just isn't it. However, I'm going to give the guy a chance. He hasn't had any chance since, with Kane being in the side. And then Kulu is not the man that I thought we bought when we had that 6 months and he was tearing the league up. Very, very one-dimensional, like Robin. But Robin just seemed to know how to turn players inside out, utilize the fact that he does come inside to fake, to use trickery. Kulu just looks very lethargic on that right-hand side. And for me, I think he needs to move more centrally. I just don't think he has the turn of pace, the agility to be able to turn a fullback and then get it on his left. Very, very left-footed. And I think it's hurting us a little bit. Sonny can hit with both feet. I just don't think he utilises his left foot that much. But it's like Kulu refuses to go onto his right. And understandably, when you're like, I'm very right dominant, don't kick my left whatsoever. Got a horrible kick with my left. Even when I was playing league, couldn't kick a ball with my left foot. And it's just hurting us, I think, personally. There is one more player that I didn't mention. He did come on for sub, and that is Papa Madasar. Didn't really have much game time. Did what he had to do. Seemed to carry the ball a bit more than Skip did. Seemed to want the ball a bit more than Skippy did. But overall, you can't really judge on Sa. So before I get on to Ange, that ref was disgusting. The guys gave the most penalties last season in the Premier League, gave us like 5 yellow cards, including Ryan Mason before half-time. Finally gave Brentford one after like 5 or 6 fouls that we had committed and got a foul like a yellow card straight for. He needs to be checked. They need to go to the FIFA, the FIFA needs to go to the referee union or whatever it is and check this guy's bank account, because I swear to God, he had money on cards. Him and fucking Tony were down the fucking offie, fucking putting bets on how many cards were in the game, because seriously, that was a joke. Even the touchies, I should say, the referees on the sideline really need to look at themselves, because some of their calls was disgusting. But we won't be bitter. We didn't lose. Luckily, it was 2-2, so we can't be too harsh. But Ange, I'm liking what I'm seeing. He's positive. He wants the ball moving forward. Um, he seems to have instilled a typical play style. However, the couple of things I will say, um, I felt like he needed to make more subs. I feel like if we had a bit more fresher legs than when Brentford made fresh legs, we could have taken the game over. For me, I think Lasalso could have done really, really well. Porro could have done really, really well coming in. I feel like they could have changed the game. Unfortunately, maybe he's thinking towards United, keeping players fresh. But then, this was meant to be our starting 11. So um, that's one thing. The second thing, these fullbacks pushing into DM role. I don't think it was the game for it. I feel like we needed more. We needed to stretch the defense more, and or have an extra guy in the middle, or playing in and behind Richarlison to try and pull the defenders out, or make them come out a bit, just like Romero does. Um, but in saying that, that's the style he plays. He's played everywhere. Um, it's going to work though. I think United, we're going to see a bit. It's going to work this week against United. I'm not saying we're going to go there and win, but I feel like it's going to be more effective against a team that's actually going to come out and attack us, because we're going to have the stability, and then we're going to be able to play through them because they're not going to have 11 men behind the ball. But I do want to do one big shout out, and it's very prominent here in Australia with the rugby league and concussions. It's called a HIA. Very much important in the game these days with the head injuries and stuff. Right call to bring Romero off. The guy looked like he was about to collapse after he scored that header. It looked like the header knocked him, like the ball knocked him out when he headed it. And as much as being a player and getting pulled off, especially when you can't come back on, when you're playing in Sunday League, or I don't know if you guys have, but here you can come on and off interchange, up to 12 subs, and players can come on multiple times. You obviously can't do that in the Premier League. Once you're off, you're off. Unfortunate, however, the fact that we're trying to, maintain these guys, make sure they're not doing something stupid, playing like Son did last year, playing with a hernia all season, injured, was the smartest thing to do. And unfortunately for Romero, he looked like he was going to who was going to be on it. Let's just hope he brings that momentum into United, and a big up Edge for actually taking that and not backing down, and getting him off. As much as it would have pissed off Romero, and he looked pissed off, he needs to realise that Ange did it for his own welfare and well-being. But yeah, that's my take on the game, guys. I feel like we could have done a bit better, but it is the first game under Ange, and there are signs that it's looking good. And we did lose our talisman striker a couple of days before the season started for us. Thank you, Levy. We won't get into Kane. It hurts, but everyone's going on about it. We will be getting another couple of videos out this week. I'm hoping to be on a live this Friday. Hopefully Tommy has a live going on the Hotspur Hood, but we'll see how that goes. Like and subscribe, guys. Comment down below how you feel about the game. Let me know if I missed anything, if there was something important that you feel like I should have covered. And we'll be back for a review for the United game this weekend, and maybe sprinkle a bit of lives in there. But before I wrap this up, also EAFC is coming out, the new FIFA this season. And I spoke about it a bit last season, trying to get some FIFA content. However, FIFA 23 for me was very lackluster. I know this is a Spurs channel. However, a lot of people who watch the EPL and watch Tottenham do play FIFA as well. This season, we do play pro clubs. The boys here at Totalozspurs and with a couple of our friends, we will be running a club on pro clubs because it is now crossplay. So we'll be running on PS5, Xbox, and PC. So make sure you watch out for that when the game drops at the end of next month. We will be hitting some content up, some lives, some streams, and if you guys do have the game and you're on when we're on, more than welcome to join us. Love the banter, and I do get a bit competitive with FIFA because I feel like I'm a good little player. But anyway, guys, take it easy, stay safe, and as always, guys, stay Spursy.